This original WSRE presentation is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ramika Vincent Leary, and welcome to this edition of In Studio. Grab some peanuts and Cracker Jack, folks, because tonight we're taking you out to the ball game. Baseball is often called America's favorite pastime. Of course, in fact, Pensacola, Florida has served as a breeding ground for many baseball legends. From the Negro Leagues to the major leagues, the city of Fine Flags has hosted all-time greats such as Jackie Robinson and Babe Ruth. Get ready to meet some amazing heavy hitters as they swap stories and reminisce about the good old days. So this show will explore the past, present, and future of baseball in Pensacola. Welcome back, everyone. Grab a close seat as we begin our baseball in Pensacola journey. Throughout the program, we'll be sharing some compelling photographs, courtesy of the Pensacola Historical Society, Library of Congress, Gulf Islands National Seashore Archives, and the players themselves. Switching gears, I'm honored to introduce my first guest, baseball author and historian Scott Brown. He's a walking encyclopedia of baseball knowledge. We also have Johnny Joe Lewis, who played locally for the Pensacola Seacolds and later advanced to the major leagues. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, Ramika. Very glad to be here.
So glad to have both of you. Scott, let's start with you. Take me back to the mid to late 2000s. And we aired a documentary here at WSRE called Baseball in Pensacola. And you worked with Jill Hubbs, our Director of Education and Outreach. Shed a little light on that.
Well, about 2009, I was actually sitting in the stands of our independent baseball team, the Pensacola Pelicans at the time, and just watching the interaction with the fans here in Pensacola, how they had just gravitated towards this sport. And I'm not originally from the area and did not realize the depth of the baseball history that we have here. I'm also a baseball writer of other subjects on the game, but never delved into Pensacola's baseball history. And so I thought, what would it be like to research and look into what are the treasures that the city of Five Flags holds with the Green Diamond? And so as I began to collect information with the help of the front office with the Pensacola Pelicans, we gathered a number of things, and it just so happened within the first few weeks that their assistant GM, Jason Libert, came to me and he said, WSRE, Jill Hubbs is looking for someone to share the baseball history of Pensacola. They're working on the preliminary forward motion of a documentary of the same name. So we came together and worked on the book and the documentary at the same time.
So you played an integral role in that. And I know that Johnny was also a part of that documentary too, right? Now, Johnny, tell us a little bit about your baseball years. I know that you played also for the Pensacola Seagulls. Give us a little bit of a backstory.
Well, my years started from, I grew up in Morris Court, and I played Little League Baseball. We didn't have the uniforms and all the other good stuff that most kids had, but we were determined that we were going to be ball players some kind of way. And we played hard, sun up to sun down.
We see you right up here. You're looking quite sharp.
That's St. Louis Cardinals. That's my rookie year, St. Louis. Well, but we had a lot of help, a lot of people help, and we had a difficult time trying to find out who we were as ball players and how far could we go.
Well, talking about inspirations too, and Scott, just piggybacking just a moment regarding your book, Baseball in Pensacola. There is a correlation there with that documentary that we produced here at WSRE and the book right here on the screen, as you see, that you authored. Tell us about that connection.
One of the most wonderful aspects of working together with WSRE and producer Jill Hubbs was the availability of so many magnificent legends of the game right here in Pensacola. And one of the things that we were able to do is interview many of our own men and ladies who grew up with the game and had really changed their lives as to who they were as not only men and women of the community, but citizens and moms and dads, and some of them many teachers.
Speaking of the ladies, my fine gentlemen here, a lot of people may not realize that ladies did play an integral role.
Certainly.
I have visions of ladies in hoop skirts playing ball in the field. Did you ever see anything like that, Johnny?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Kansas City. We used to go into Kansas City, and that's where Mae, I think her name was Mae, played professional baseball. She was the first female player, and she did an outstanding job of promoting baseball for the women. And unfortunately, we didn't have any place for her to play with. She did an outstanding job.
Let's talk for a moment about Jackie Robinson. Did he influence you in your career in any way?
Absolutely.
How so?
What they used to do was they used to have spring training down in Vero Beach, Florida. And they used to barnstorm.
See Jackie right there.
Back this way. And they stopped. Used to play out of Legion Field. Old Legion Field was a place where we played games. We used to have to look underneath the fence so we got a chance to see.
Funny memories. Well, I have a surprise for you. We have a clip from Jake Wood, who knew Jackie Robinson. Let's take a look at that.
I never followed, professional baseball until Jackie Robinson was, became a part of the Dodgers. And then when I look back from my experience, because it was just like, 10 short years later that I had the opportunity to sign with the Tigers. And I look back and I can't imagine what he had to go through, being the first African-American to play professional sports, because I look at, me being the beneficiary of what he had gone through.
Amazing clip right
Incredible.
there. Incredible. So, Scott, let's just talk a moment about the Pensacola Seagulls and the history of the Seagulls. I know you wrote about that extensively in your book. Why don't you share some interesting thoughts with us?
The Seagulls were Pensacola's premier Negro League team. And when I say premier, I'm talking they were the top of their game. Not only were they known around this area, but they were known throughout the United States. And, as Johnny mentioned, with Jackie Robinson coming through Pensacola and playing at Legion Field, when they would come in, the national Negro League teams, that's who they would play. They would play our Pensacola Seagulls. They were of that level of ability. And, so many of our young African-American players back during the 40s, 50s, and 60s got their start with the Seagulls, including Johnny. He played a little bit himself.
Yeah, it was enjoyable to play with the Seagulls.
What about Lawrence Shake Sampson? Do you have any memories of him? I know you're laughing right now. You probably have so many fond memories.
I remember all those names. They seem so familiar, to be able to listen to those names, because they all played a significant part and make sure that we all got a chance to play. We didn't have the best equipment or anything, but at least we put forth the effort to try to see if we can get out there and play.
We're going to hear now what Lawrence Shake Sampson has to say about his experiences playing with the Pensacola Seagulls in this soundbite.
It was a lot of teams here in Pensacola, but the Seagulls was the most organized team. We played from Florida to Alabama to Mississippi, all the way to Key West. We played baseball. And we didn't lose too many games. We used to travel in station wagons and cars. But when we got that bus, oh man, it was nice.
He was loving that moment, wasn't he, Scott?
He was. And, you know, the interesting thing about that bus, you know, we had our local Pensacola Flyers, and the story was the Flyers bus had holes in the floor, and they would stuff newspaper in it to keep the rain from coming in. But the Seagulls had the better bus of the teams here in town. In fact, it was air conditioned.
Almost virtually unheard of in many respects during that time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know,
First
what was
class.
also unheard of for Pensacola was very unique in the fact that of our teams that we had, the Flyers, Seagulls, and others, we had white and black teams that participated as fans in the stands, and we had as many white fans at our Negro League teams as we did with our African American fans at the white teams, and we shared that love for baseball then and now.
Absolutely.
That is wonderful.
I remember that as if it was yesterday. That we used to have the same number of people playing full time, coming out to see us play, and we put on some good shows for them too.
So, Johnny, as a player, how did it make you feel knowing that the audiences were integrated?
I knew that the opportunity was going to come. You couldn't keep a good ball player from making it to the big league. The time was going to come. It just happened to take a little longer than most people.
So, Scott, Pensacola set a precedent regarding race relations at baseball games. That is huge and probably
Enormous.
something a lot of people did not know.
There's actually more to it that can ever be said in one setting, and you know, we encourage young people to really look into their Pensacola baseball history and what they did. Johnny has the distinction of being the very first African American to reach the majors from Pensacola, and his play on the field reached our newspapers, and children, white and black alike, love to hear stories about Johnny Joe Louis. One of the most famous is his home run off of Jim Maloney in Crosley Field.
Well, that happened. We were in the 11th inning of a no-hitter. He was throwing a no-hitter. And fortunately, I was the one that came up and hit a home run to beat him, 1-0. But it was a challenge. I think he had struck out about 13 of us.
Amazing memories.
Didn't make it that easy for us, but
You also,
we finally got next to him.
so we know that you also played for the Cardinals and the Mets, and I know that you have so many fond memories with those teams as well. If you had to give anyone today some sound advice about pursuing their dreams, what would it be?
Well, baseball has been a highlight of my life, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I've enjoyed the battles that we had to fight, teams we had to fight against, and also all the good stuff that we had to go through. It's been a rewarding career.
Although sometimes we have our ups and downs in life, we know that the reward is there. And Scott, let's talk about the travel, because we know the Pensacola Seagulls had an air-conditioned bus. Let's talk about our Florida teams traveling elsewhere, specifically the Seagulls. Did they run into any opposition on the road that you know of?
Well, the opposition that was faced on the road was quite more extensive than it was here at home, because there was such support. But although we had barnstorming teams come through Pensacola, the Seagulls would play, our Seagulls went from coast to coast. They even went as far as San Francisco, playing National Negro League teams and besting them. And so if that's opposition,
Look at the team
bring it
right
on.
There. I would say the same. Definitely bring it on. And a lot of times, gentlemen, don't we have to dispel myths? That's a great reason for having shows like this on WSRE TV. to bring up the topics and discuss as a family, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
So, Scott, having written your book, and we're going to have you the entire show, by the way, what moment in the Pensacola Seagulls history resonates so well in your mind? I know there are a lot of great ones, but maybe just one.
There are. One of the things that really ministered and touched me as I was writing this book was being with people like Ed and Gloria Coleman. Ed's father, David, played for the Seagulls, and Gloria, as a young girl, was a fan. Their personal stories of sitting in the stands and having that community rallied around them, having the inspiration of the players on the field, and those players really vesting in the lives of these young people. That was one of the most incredible moments that I can remember, being able to hear from these families about how their lives, even today, were changed by that community, by that interaction with the players.
Definitely speaks volumes. Johnny, thank you so much for being on the show. You have really taught all of us so much. You're a great man, and I know you're going to continue to do great things for everyone.
I hope to continue to be able to participate, because it's been a good life. It's been real good, and I wish to show success.
All right.
Success with the show.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ramika.
Appreciate you. All right, folks, as we head to break, I want to tell you about a WSRE-TV programming treat. This Grand Slam event will begin 3 p.m. Sunday, April 10th with our Baseball in Pensacola documentary. Then get ready for the two-part Jackie Robinson film, airing 8 p.m. nightly on the 11th and 12th. What better way to tease this lineup than to give you a sneak peek from Jackie?
He was an uncompromising crusader who lifted himself up from humble beginnings to become, for a time, one of the most celebrated men in America. He was a supremely gifted athlete whose skills on the ball field captivated Americans of all races, and in the process, challenged the prejudiced notions of what a black man could achieve. He was an impatient, strong-willed, and sharp-tongued competitor who nonetheless turned the other cheek to the threats and abuse he would endure, and made it possible for others to follow in his footsteps.
The bases are loaded, and I can sense a home run on the horizon. Joining baseball author and historian Scott Brown during this segment, we have two former Major League Baseball players. Both men have shared their talent and expertise on and off the field, impacting lives for the better. We're excited to have Hoskin Powell and Greg Litton on the show. Hello, gentlemen. All right, we have a lot to get to here. Hoskin, let's start with you. I happen to see you on the Baseball in Pensacola DVD. You have such a colorful history, strong roots here in the Pensacola area. Elaborate a little bit on your Pensacola roots.
Well, my Pensacola roots started 5 years old. I came here from Selma, Alabama, and I grew up in the neighborhood of Brent, and I went to Woodham High School, Olive Elementary, and Wedgwood Middle School. And, you know, it's just pretty much the, you know, coming up, and a lot of the kids that I came up with was in the Brent area, and that's where, you know, a lot of the parents and stuff had great baseball program, because back in the early 70s, Brent was one of the top baseball programs in the area. And, you know, I just love to go out and, listen to the guys
your
talk
thing.
about the game.
Greg, formerly known, of course, Pensacola Junior College. We know it now as Pensacola State College. Tell us about your early days playing for the school.
Well, I tell you what, PJC, coming out of, I went to Woodham High School as well, and Hoskin, and you'll meet Joe or JJ in a minute, but these guys were kind of set the tables for me. They were guys I looked up to. It kind of gave me hope. But playing at PJC at the time, I had aspirations and always wanted to play Major League Baseball. I had hoped for maybe something a little bit bigger, maybe a 4-year school. But looking back on it, PJC was a great school academically and athletically. And a lot of people, and I didn't at the time either, realize how instrumental or advantageous it is to play for a junior college when you're coming right out of high school. Gives you a couple of years to kind of mature, play every day, and it was a big bonus for my baseball career.
That's exceptional. Scott, take us back, because remember, this is a journey.
Absolutely.
Baseball in Pensacola, past, present, and future. Let's talk about the early Pensacola Flyers.
Well, the Flyers are a unique team. It has been our mainstay throughout our history. The unique thing about the Flyers were in 1927, the year of their inception, they were actually called the Pilots.
Right.
Changed to the Flyers, spelled F-L-Y-E-R-S. Then later on they became F-L-I-E-R-S. And that
Amazing.
changed back and forth throughout their history. Of course, the newspaper loved to call them the Aviators as well.
Okay.
So we had multiple names, but it took that many names to describe the talent that was produced through the Flyers, and of course, one of our illustrious owners and managers, Wally Daschle.
Can't leave him out of the equation,
Can't leave out
right?
Wally. Absolutely. Wally to this day still holds the hearts of most Pensacola baseball fans.
Speaking of talent, we have a picture of the Flyers up here. Wonderful shot there. We had a lot of talent pass through Pensacola. Let's talk about Babe Ruth, or the Babe.
Well, Babe came through with the Yankees in both 1924 and 29. You've read the book, haven't you?
Hey, you've already signed my copy. I'm good.
And both times, that was something that really drew a lot of attention from Pensacola fans and from far and wide. We had folks come from outside of Pensacola, and they filled the stands of Legion Field to see the Babe.
He loved children,
Loved
didn't he?
children. At one point in 1929, he signed over 100 baseballs and gave them out to young people that were in the stands. And every so often, one of those baseballs will turn up in somebody's attic. And it was just a precious time. But it was not just the Yankees that came through. It was the Red Sox and the Giants and the Indians. Pensacola was a place, a destination for spring exhibition. But we also had Negro League exhibition.
That's amazing. Let's talk about Jackie Robinson for just a moment, because didn't he come through Pensacola?
He did.
Once?
Jackie and the Kansas City Monarchs played at Legion Field, and they drew as many coming into Pensacola as did the Babe, and they played our very own Pensacola Seagulls.
Phenomenal. Hoskin, let's get back to you for just a moment here. Blue Jays and the Twins. I know that you're an humble man, but making the leap from Pensacola to the majors, how did that impact you? I know that you kept your humility. You still are quite humble these days.
Well, being from the South and being a country boy who loved to hunt and fish, and baseball was my third love. Come to hunting and fishing, and and when you love a game, you put everything into it. And, a lot of things go on around the game that you wouldn't know because of what you were putting into it. And, back then, I was young and just loved baseball.
Did you start off with the Blue Jays first and the Twins? Tell us about the progression here.
I was drafted by Minnesota.
All right.
And I signed. Well, I was drafted first by Pittsburgh, back when we had the January and the June draft. Pittsburgh drafted me 18th in the country, and I didn't sign. I was at Chipola Junior College. Like Greg said, junior college, you get to do a lot of growing. And I didn't know anything about the draft. I was just playing the game and, just going on and just, enjoying myself. And then the opportunity came and, I didn't think much of it. And one thing about my coach, Ellis Duncan, told me, he said, there's no rush, just play the game and enjoy, and if it's for you, it'll come to you. And I didn't think much of it, and I came along, And then Minnesota drafted me. Then I got a phone call from Fred Waters.
How did that go?
That was the one thing that I really wanted to hear. You know, I've always played against Fred when he was here coaching in high school, and he had the great teams. And we used to play our hardest to try to beat him, but they always had that little edge. And I always, you know, wondered how it would be to play for a coach at the caliber of Fred. And it came about. And he called me, he said, young fella, Minnesota has drafted you, and we'd like to have you play for us. And it was, where do I sign from there? Because long as it was Fred, I figured, you know, I didn't know anything about the game, didn't care about the game. I just, his ambassador to baseball, just, you know, even the guys he had on his team, the way they carried themselves like baseball players.
Right, with dignity,
and, you know,
class.
Oh, yes.
We're going to talk more about your history in just a moment here, but Greg, let me scoot on over here to your corner. The Giants and the Mariners, and I love your attire, by the way. So tell us a little bit about your journey to the majors.
Well, I tell you what, I was a lot like Hoskin. You know, you grow up playing ball, and I was at PJC and playing. They started talking about I might get drafted, and ended up getting drafted by the Giants. And I tell people now, I signed the contract to go off to play minor league baseball. And I had no idea how, I didn't even know minor league baseball. They had rookie ball, A ball. I didn't even understand all that. I just knew I was going to play. and that's all, you know, that's all we wanted to do. It wasn't about the money. It was just because we loved it. And so I signed, went off to play minor league baseball. And for those watching, minor league baseball is a tough life. It's it's no money. I mean, and that's not why you play, but it's barely being able to eat money. And I spent 4.5 years in the minor leagues, and that was a long, tough journey, a lot of fun as well, but was fortunate to make it to the major leagues, played in San Francisco and with the Mariners and even Boston, so I was very blessed.
I know that you were. Now, Scott, coming back to you, I know with your book you've covered both of these fine men and numerous other players. Let's talk about Satchmo. Let's talk about Louis Armstrong. A lot of people didn't realize that he really loved the game.
Louis Armstrong was, I think, as much a fan of baseball as he enjoyed his entertainment career. In fact, in his home city of New Orleans, he sponsored a team called the Secret Nine. And during World War II, as many entertainers did, they would join the USO and entertain our troops. And Louis Armstrong came to Pensacola to entertain our troops. Of course, he was not allowed in the regular USO clubs. He met down in our De Villers Street area at Abe's and some others. But one of the things he did, he made sure that he found baseball here in Pensacola.
He sure did.
And there at NAS, where the picture was depicting, he went out to watch our military play one of their games. You couldn't keep him away from baseball.
Not at all. Interesting tidbit of history there. Greg, famous announcer Tom Cheek. Any memories of him?
Well, I tell you, my memories of Tom Cheek is just nothing but just a fine man. I had met him through some mutual friends here because his son played at PJC as well and played with some friends of mine. So I had known Tom for a while, and just a quality man. Shame that he died a little too soon.
Right.
But my recollection of just Tom was just a fine gentleman, great personality, and just good all-around guy.
And he is sorely missed.
Yes.
He really is. All right, Hoskin, we saw a baseball card up just a few moments ago, you with the Twins. Let's talk about your days with the Twins. Give us some great moments in your life from the Twins.
My days with the Twins was great. That was introduced to baseball. I came in with Rod Carew, and, you know, he was a different guy. He was one of the best hitters I ever seen, and, well, it came through baseball. But he took the young guys under their arm, you know, and, you know, they talk to you. Because, like, in Minnesota, you know, they're looking for a lot more maturity than, you know, normally. Because, you know, if you can carry yourself, you know, in dealing with people and everything. Because being from the South and going to Minnesota, they did not like the Southern boys. Excuse me. And you know, it was, you know, it was hard for me because my rookie year was the year that they got Gene Mach, and we were going to platoon system, and Bombo Rivera was the guy that I shared right field with, and he had records and stuff, and it was a different story, and you know, but you know, just going out and play, and you know, seeing a couple of guys that and Fred would always call me and say, "Young fella, how are you doing?" "I'm doing great, Fred." He said, "Well, just hang in there," you know. He said, "It's a lot better there than it is here." We used to laugh. And he always, you know, he always kept up with you. And if you were doing good, he'd call you. If you're doing bad, you know, ask how you doing. And, you know, and little things like that, you know, I didn't know anything about it. But he, you know, he explained the game to me and told me just play hard. And that's what I did, and great things happened for me. And, you know, and playing for Gene Mach was another thing in itself.
I'm sure it was. And I know I'm caught up in emotion just listening to what you have to say. All right, Greg, let me turn over to your side here for just a moment. Let's talk about the Giants just a little bit more. If you could give a young person right now coming through the ranks, maybe somebody in the minor leagues, what would it be as far as encouragement is concerned?
Well, encouraging somebody young in the minor leagues, I would tell them, honestly, the biggest thing is to keep baseball in its proper place. As a young man going through the minor league system with the Giants, I got caught up in it myself, where you start chasing baseball and you put baseball up here, and I did in my life.
Okay.
And when you put baseball too high, I think for me personally, it's more of God, family, and then baseball.
Wonderful.
And I got caught up in that, and I would tell them to keep that in perspective. Work as hard as you can. Baseball's still a game. Have fun. Don't get caught up in chasing it and thinking that's who you are and that's where your happiness is going to come from. Because I remember when I got to the major leagues that the first thing I noticed was nothing changed. I was still the same person.
All right. Wonderful words of wisdom. And Hoskin, it's so great having you in this segment. And I know we'll see you again. I know it's an emotional thing. All right. So, folks, it's time to clear your busy schedules for a programming event unlike any other. This WSRE Grand Slam event will begin 3 p.m. Sunday, April 10th, with our Baseball in Pensacola documentary. Then get ready for the two-part Jackie Robinson film, airing 8 p.m. nightly on the 11th and 12th. So an interesting fact about Robinson was that he played an active role in the civil rights movement. Take a look at this clip from the film.
More than anything else, what African Americans have wanted from America is a seat at the table. Jackie Robinson knew once he got in the door, you could knock down all of these conventions. First, you get out there and you prove you can play. Then you can start talking back to umps. Then you start dealing with writers on your terms instead of their terms. Then you start fighting to make sure the hotels are integrated. And over time, Jackie Robinson has pushed us forward. For him, there was no satisfaction with simply being allowed to enter the room.
The momentum is high as our baseball and Pensacola journey continues. During this segment, we'll hear more from baseball author and historian Scott Brown and, of course, Greg Litton. Plus, we're happy to add another former Major League Baseball player to the mix, J.J. Cannon, a man who also has strong ties to Pensacola State College. It's such an honor to have all of you here. I am in awe of your presence, gentlemen. So let the discussion begin here. JJ, let's talk to you first. I know that you have strong ties to the Pensacola area. Talk about your days at what was formerly known as PJC. We now know it as Pensacola State College.
They were brief. I spent 2 years there. You know, my family came from a military background. You know, so we moved to Pensacola during the Vietnam days. My dad was, you know, my mother's family is from here, so we kind of moved here during the Vietnam days, which brought me to Pensacola, basically. And my 2 years there was pretty good. I enjoyed the stay there. I came there thinking I was going to play a couple sports. You know, I originally came out of high school playing 3 sports. I had scholarship offers at several universities in North Carolina. Well, baseball, basketball, and football. And I had scholarships in all 3 at one time.
Amazing.
And I chose Pensacola Junior College, and they thought I was crazy. They said, "Where's Pensacola? What's there?" And I said, "Junior College." They said, "What?" So, you know, they just told me wherever I went to school, just enroll, make sure you let us know. And so I did. I got in contact with Coach Buddy Kishner.
Yes.
And he told me to come out and try out. They watched me try out one day. They had the whole baseball team sit in the stands while I took batting practice. And from that point, I signed my scholarship.
Wonderful.
In one day. And so I signed as a pitcher.
Okay.
And thought I was going to be a pitcher, you know, and ended up being an outfielder. And so I got drafted first round, and which was surprising to me. I was one of the people, like Hoskins was mentioned earlier. It wasn't about, I didn't know anything about the draft, knew nothing about the draft or anything like that. I was just there to, had a scholarship in baseball and trying to get an education. Didn't know which way I was going yet, you know, but, you know, baseball is one of my passions, and, you know, I just enjoyed being there.
All right, Greg, let's come back to you for a moment. Interesting tidbit of history here that you once played for the Pensacola Seagulls. Enlighten us.
Wow, that was a fun summer. I was playing at PJC, and at that time, after my freshman year, I was too old for all the summer leagues, the Brent ballparks like Hoskin mentioned, but there was nowhere else for me to play, and the Pensacola Seagulls were, back in the old days, they just called them semi-pro, and so I and a couple of my buddies, we played ball with the Seagulls that summer. And without a doubt, it's one of the funnest summers I've ever had playing baseball. We traveled around the southeast of Theodore, Alabama to Pascagoula, Mississippi, and we played our home games at Catholic High School. And it was just a great time. And I'm going brain dead here, but Pearl
Purvis
was a man. All I remember is Coach Pearl. He was just a legend. He had coached the Seagulls. It seems like forever, and it was just a fun summer.
You know, the interesting thing about that, Greg, was the fact that you became part of almost a reverse integration.
That's what I was about to say.
The Seagulls were our premier Negro League team from, you know, the late 30s, early 40s on, and you being one of the first non-blacks to play for the Seagulls.
Well, we had a couple of us, and I tell you what, it was kind of like in reverse, because just, you know, the whites, you know, just majority population, most of the teams, it's always majority whites, whatever, and it was reversed everywhere we went. But I tell you what, that's some of the best and funnest baseball I've ever had.
And let's talk about the crowds. Now, Scott, you and I had a conversation weeks ago regarding this. Back in the early days, we would see men and women dressed in suits, ladies adorned in their Sunday attire. So talk about the differentiation, attire back then, as we see up there on the screen, right, as opposed to right now. So share some stories.
Coming to a baseball game was a community event, as it is now, but it brought out everyone in their finest. When you came to watch baseball, especially on the weekends, you dressed in your Sunday attire. Men in their coats and ladies in their hats, and it was the place to be seen. That was the place to dress and show off. But it was baseball that brought everyone together. But the unique thing about Pensacola is, whether it was the Flyers or the Seagulls, which actually shared field space at Legion Field downtown on Gian Garden, you had equal fan attendance from the white community and the black community all together watching baseball. It was the great unifier.
And then sometimes children would be dropped off at the baseball park, right?
Can you imagine doing that today? But many Pensacola children, that was the place to go on a Saturday afternoon. Parents had their shopping to do, and you dropped your kids off at the ballpark and picked them up when it was over. Fully appreciative that they would be taken care of, nothing would happen. The community was around them. They watched out for them.
They sure did. Speaking of our youth, Pensacola Youth Baseball. You two fine gentlemen over here, did either of you have a hand in that, or are you working in that respect in any realm? Pensacola Youth Baseball?
Well, I've just had a small experience. Usually, you know, because I was a professional ball player, you know, what we did along with Hoskin Powell and ourselves, we participated in most of the clinics, you know, and specifically, I'd go to schools like Woodham schools I went to Catholic a couple times, PHS a couple times, and just, you know, worked with the players just to give something back. But, you know, as far as baseball camps and programs, I didn't get a chance to do that as often here because I was so removed being in baseball and other things during the winter times and stuff like that in professional ball. But my most enjoyable time probably was the Fred Waters clinics that we used to have all the time, where it was just people from all over the place and even out of state would come and participate in the Fred Waters clinics, and they were instrumental in for me. They helped me out also. Yes. You know, not only did it help the kids out, it helped me to learn and remember what I was learning as I was growing as a baseball player.
Look at those youngsters.
You know. Yes. Those are good days, good days.
Okay, Greg, Don Sutton. When I say that name, what comes to mind?
Well, a great pitcher, very underappreciated. And the fact that it took him as long to get in the Hall of Fame as it did is really a shame, even though it's very well deserved.
1998.
But I'll tell you, my first thought of Don was just when I got called up with the Giants in 1989, I had never met Don, but he was the announcer with the Braves. And I tell you what, when I came in, he came down, introduced himself. We made and became real quick friends, and he always, whenever I was playing, always talked about Pensacola, would talk about me in very positive light. And so Don and I have remained friends for a long time since then. But I really appreciated the way he kind of just went out of his way to seek me out and reach out as friends.
He did the same for me. My first year in the major leagues, I was with Houston Astros, and Don Sutton was with the Dodgers. And I remember the day he came up to me. I didn't even know who he was, really. I mean, I knew who Don Sutton was, but didn't know him personally. He walked up to me when I was stretching in the outfield and said, "Hey, homeboy."
Nice introduction.
He said, "You're from Pensacola." He said, "Hey, take care of you. He said, I'm pitching tomorrow. What pitch do you want?" I said, "Fastball down the middle." He said, "Okay." So, I mean, that's the first time I met him. So the next day I played in the game, and sure enough, Don Sutton threw me 3 fastballs down the middle. I took 2 of them because I didn't believe it. And then I hit one. I grounded at second base. The next day he came and said, slapped me on the shoulder and said, "You're my homeboy. I'm trying to take care of you. You're homeboy. You know, we take care of each other in Pensacola, man. We're from the same homes, you know. So
yeah, it's bad when they tell you what's coming. And
yeah, because you don't believe it.
Sometimes you don't.
You know, but he's a good man.
Scott, we have a Pensacola player's pedigree. You talk about so many of the awesome players in your book. Aside from Don Sutton and the gentleman that we have on the program today, are there any other names that stand out for you?
Ramika, that's a difficult thing to say because the moment I get started, we're going to leave some out. But you have to think about guys like Stover McElwain, Dennis Llewellyn, Kevin Soche, Preston Hanna. You know, we're gonna sit with Adron Chambers here in a little bit. You know, we've got Greg, of course, and Talmadge Nenari, and the list goes on and on.
Hold that thought. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. All right, folks, baseball and more baseball. Many people believe this is a dream combination, and WSRE is ready to grant that wish. So we're gearing up for a Grand Slam event starting 3 p.m. Sunday, April 10th, with our Baseball in Pensacola documentary. Then get ready for the 2-part Jackie Robinson film, airing 8 p.m. nightly on the 11th and 12th. If you love baseball action, watch this snippet of Jackie Robinson from the 1949 Major League All-Star Game.
Ebbets Field, Brooklyn, scene of the 16th annual All-Star Game. Jackie Robinson up. Jackie rifles a shot into left field. The first Negro player to appear in an All-Star Game. The Brooklyn Dodgers speed merchant doesn't stop running till he flies into second with a double.
We are glad to have Scott Brown and J.J. Cannon back during this segment. Plus, we're thrilled to introduce another former Major League Baseball player, one who will shed light on setting goals, overcoming struggles, and hitting home runs in life. I'm talking about the one, the only Adron Chambers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Sharpen in that fedora.
I needed that.
You needed that.
That intro right there.
All right, so good to hear from you. Let's talk about your upbringing, your childhood struggles, and how it's made you appreciate where you are even more so.
Well, I guess, you know, coming up, my mother, Romero character, she's probably gonna think about me right now. I mean,
she'll be okay.
Right. But I didn't see a struggle, you know what I mean? Because my mom had 8 kids, you know what I mean? All of us, I mean, even now to this day, if you had to look at it as, success, my brother's in the military, my sisters all finished school, so I didn't see it, but at the same time, with having so many brothers and sisters, we had a separation, you know what I mean? We had my brother 44 years old and I'm 29 years old, so baseball most definitely was a way for me to find some attention and meet other guys that were my age.
Let's talk about Pensacola State College. There is a fine thread with several of the players here tonight regarding that. How was your experience at the college?
It was wonderful. Bill Hamilton, Doug Martin, they gave me an opportunity, came and showed me an opportunity to come play baseball over at Pensacola Junior College at the time, and it was wonderful for me. I was happy to be home and be able to, play on an elite level, I guess you can say, and here in my hometown. So PJC was very nice for me.
JJ, there's a first for you in relation to PJC. Why don't you tell us what that is?
Well, I really didn't put a big thought about everything, but now, looking hindsight, I didn't realize the importance of it. But I was the first person to be drafted, by a professional team and actually go to the major leagues, which, I'm very proud of that. But at the time, it was just playing. I really didn't know anything about the draft structure or anything like that. I was really focused on just education and enjoying playing baseball with the guys I was around. But it was a very good opportunity for me, and it made my life.
Now, Scott, let me shift gears for just a moment. You have written about both of these fine gentlemen, and having met both of them, I know they inspire you a lot. Elaborate on that, please.
Well, there's something about Pensacola and Pensacola baseball that has also been a common thread. As I've been interviewing these gentlemen over the years for the book and for the documentary with WSRE, I would often ask, what do you think was the thing that took you to that next level, to take you past any inhibitions you have to make the pros? And so often they've said, those who went before us were never remiss to come back and give back into the community. And for JJ, for Adron, for others, that's something that they've done. They've given back into the youth of this community and inspired them to go farther as well.
All right, Adron, I'm going to put you on the spot because in the green room we talked about some of the things that you're doing right now in the community with youngsters.
And there's a lot more that I want to do. This kind of conversation excites me. Baseball has been able to do a lot of things for me, my family, the people in my neighborhood, my community, and seeing that and growing up in that, you know, especially here in our hometown of Pensacola, is like, you know, where is the baseball? You know, I ride past Brent and you know, Auburn and Ganton, these places, and you see, you know, the kids that still want to, you know, participate, but at the same time, you know, I remember coming down W Street and the baseball fields are filled with kids and, you know, family, adults, you know, wanting to be a part of the game, you know. So I have a lot of great ideas. You know, we did a camp last week, and it's more things like that. The biggest thing for me is, especially when you talk about giving back to the community, is the lesson that's being taught.
Yes.
What are you teaching the kids? What are you trying to show them? So most definitely, JJ, and it's good seeing him today, and a lot of other guys in Pensacola. You know, I want us to kind of get on board with this thing and, you know, see what baseball really has to offer for us here in the city.
Have the two of you ever worked together, collaborated?
We need to.
No, not really, not yet. But you know, I met him when he was coming up. I think I worked you out at PSC,
PJC,
High School,
or PHS
yeah,
too.
we worked out there when I first met him when he was coming up in the minor leagues, and you know, Hoskin Powell introduced me to him, and you know, that's what we do. We try to give back. You know, one guy introduces this guy, and you see another guy needs help, you kind of help him boost along, give him more advice, just feed information to him. So that's what I've been doing all my life too, just giving back, because the things that were given to me, I feel I need to share that with them, and so you know, I've been doing that. So we were doing clinics forever since we were young, you know, in my younger playing days, and it disappeared. It disappeared. So I became a mentor.
You kind of try to think, where is it going? You know,
That's right.
Why isn't it like? Why is it
past, present, future?
Exactly,
right.
exactly. So. And to add on just a little bit, to that, just seeing the Johnny Joe Lewis and the Coach Pop, he taught me at Pensacola High School. You know what I mean? So, and you know, just seeing that generation change, and it's, you know. I don't like seeing what I see with the community and how baseball is being represented, but at the same time, you see that it's there. You know what I mean? We have the Johnny. I didn't know Babe Ruth came through Pensacola,
and
that's
those another great platform.
I'm sorry.
For shows like this.
But those are the things that's needed. You know what I mean? We need to know that kind of information. That's what kids want to know. I mean, it gave me goosebumps sitting back there knowing that Jackie Robinson played right at the same place. You know what I mean? And that's the information that we need.
I worked at I worked at Lakeview for Baptist, and I mentor kids. There's a house that houses 12 boys, 10 boys at a time, and I actually took them to the baseball games, the Wahoo games, because you know these are kids that need inspiration, and you know, baseball, the atmosphere, the seed that you know, one day there's a dream. You can see a dream. That's right. And you know, so I think, you know, those kind of things are needed in Pensacola, because we're losing our kids.
And speaking of the Wahoos, Scott, back to you for just a moment. Progression, right? And Quint Studer and the monumental things that he has done here. Talk about the Wahoos, will you please?
Well, this is really a continuation of Pensacola's baseball vision. And for Quint Studer, who is not originally from Pensacola, to come in and catch that vision, you have to understand how deep and how thick it is. And so, you know, the Wahoos, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, you know, what we have here is not just great baseball entertainment. It is, but it's not just that. It's a foundation to stand on for our entire community, a place to come together, a place to rally around. Also, it's a place for young people, as JJ and Adrian just said, to be inspired to go beyond their place right now, to say, let's go farther.
We see the progression of Bayfront Park right there.
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that phenomenal? Quite amazing.
The only thing I don't see there, Ramika, is you. I'm looking very close.
I will be there. Maybe we'll all go together to a game. Not a bad idea. Let's talk about the link with the Cincinnati Reds. Elaborate on that a bit.
The Cincinnati Reds have been our first parent club, and we hope that we have a long career with them, with the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. We had a one-year contract with them originally, and immediately signed an extension 4 years, because they saw the quality of the fans, the quality of the fan base, and the desire for baseball in Pensacola.
We are doing such wonderful things in the Pensacola area, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we are.
And then when you look at it too, I mean, I know I'm just jumping in right now, but we have the Roy Joneses and the Emmitt Smith. We have many great, you know,
not only in the sport of baseball.
You know what I mean? And like you said, it's the family. You know, Pensacola's the first settlement, ain't it? You know what I mean? It's like it's a lot of history.
City of Five Flags.
Exactly. It's a lot of history here that I think that's not forgotten, but it's not. Everybody don't know, I guess I can say it like that. So this baseball is just another way for us to be able to do that. You know,
everybody was inspired the same way. You see these guys, you know, like the Roy Joneses and the Phil Hyatts, and we don't talk about that, Preston Hannis and Dennis Llewellyn. I mean, I can remember we were all in high school together and playing against each other like it was nothing, just like nothing. And to know that we've all achieved something like a professional sport, and know we fished with this guy. You know, I went fishing with this guy. We played with this guy. You know, it's just as kids to see that we've all are doing the same thing, to aspire to make other people realize that there's a dream out there that you can have if to realize, you know, and to give back.
Between the two of you, numerous Major League Baseball teams. I just think it's amazing to have you right here on this set today. So, Adron, give me one shining moment from your baseball career, and I know there have been so many, something that you could say, all right, capture this moment, young people. Maybe take a cue from me.
I guess, Lou, it was a situation. Spring training is in Jupiter, Florida for the St. Louis Cardinals. We share fields with the Marlins, but we shared fields with the Marlins. But Lou Brock used to always come to the ballpark, you know, and he watches the game and put on his whole uniform, a red shirt, and they all put on the same uniform we had on. You know what I mean? I'm over here like, man, this man right here, he doesn't have to come and put this uniform on. He can, you know, do whatever, be in the press box or something, but he's down there with us. And right there in my ear, I'm talking about every pitch. We watched every pitch of that game, the first time I ever seen him. And that was a memory that I'll never be able to forget. The things that we talked about, the things that he used to help him, the struggles that they had to go through, you know, that said a lot. It gave a lot to me because, you know, I was coming up in baseball was second almost, you know. Right. Actually, I started off playing baseball as a little boy, but then I played football and went to college and played football. Baseball was behind my, you know what I'm saying, behind me. So to see, you know what I mean, to have the opportunity to go to the Cardinals, meet Bob Gibson and all these type of guys, you know, those are the memories that I...
Great example, right? Leading by example, showing the way. Wonderful to have all of you here this evening, gentlemen. Again, I want to thank all of our guests for joining us this evening, and viewers, it was a pleasure having all of you accompany us during this baseball and Pensacola journey. Coming up next time, Jeff Weeks will explore the colorful 90-year history of WCOA AM, Pensacola's first radio station. Now, on behalf of Mike Rowan, our executive producer, James Roy, our director, and the entire production team, thank you for watching. I'm Ramika Vincent Leary. Have a good evening, and remember to keep it locked in right here on WSRE PBS for the Gulf Coast.